everyone, Gung Hei Fat Choi. Happy Chinese New Year. Today I have some traditional Singaporean, Malaysian, and Indonesian traditional desserts and sweets. These are all called Quay, and I've had some of these before when a Singaporean friend brought these to my house, but I haven't had most of them. And I saw all of these in Christopher Tan's The Way of Quay, and instead of making them all myself, I thought I would go buy some. So I'm gonna give these a taste test today. So I got these from Bengawan Solo, a very traditional Singaporean sweets shop. And I bought 4 different kinds of quay. Quay just means something like cake or steamed cake. I think it's a Hokkien Chinese language. And the one I have here is the one that I've actually made myself from Christopher Tan's book. It's called Quay. And this one is red, so I think it is a traditional flavor that uses red yeast rice for the coloring. So I've never actually had that before except for my own, so I'm curious to give that one a try. Next, above that one, we have a little green ball that is covered with white coconut. And that one's called Onda, and it's basically kind of like a rice mochi wrapper that's flavored with pandan, and that's where you get the green coloring from. And the inside is a liquidy gula melaka filling. And gula melaka is basically just the Malay and Indonesian word for palm sugar. And I believe that usually here in the region it's made with coconut palm, and then the outside is just tossed in coconut. And then we have 3 different mini little cupcake type desserts, and they're called rice Huaque. And the great thing about traditional Asian sweets, especially if they're steamed, is that they often are vegan and they don't rely on eggs for structure. So these are eggless cupcakes, and they're steamed actually rather than baked, and they're supposed to be good luck for the new year, because when they steam, they kind of puff up and they make this cross shape. And that rising up, I think that means what is good luck for the new year. So we have 3 colors. I'm assuming it's either different flavors or they just are food dye. Traditionally, the pink one is made with the same red yeast rice that the Quay is made with, but I think this one might just be food dye. And there's also a brown one which did not it did not puff up, so I don't know if it's supposed to be like that or not supposed to be like that. And then here's one that I saw in the book, The Way of Quay, that I've never tried before, and it's so pretty, and I wrote the name down so I don't forget. It is Quay Sarlot, and it is made with, the blue is made with butterfly pea flowers called bunga telang in Malay and Indonesian, and that's the bottom layer. I think it's supposed to be like this. The bottom layer is made with rice that's dyed with the blue pea flower blossoms, and the top part is a pandan mochi type thing. Alright, so let's give them a try. So I'm going to start up with the Onda. I actually first found out about these. I've never had them before because I teach British poetry, mostly Renaissance poetry, which is my field, in Singapore. And I try to pair some of these poets with contemporary Singaporean poets to make them more accessible to my students. And one of the writers mentioned this dessert in his poem. And so my students explained to me what it was. So now I'm going to try it. Ooh, that's definitely a one biter because the liquid goes everywhere. That's really good. I like the combination of the crunchy coconut. It's really freshly grated, the really soft yet toothsome pandan layer, the outside mochi, and then the really liquidy gula melaka. And it's actually more liquidy than I thought it would be. I'm actually really curious how they get the liquid in there. I thought it would be a little bit more solid and caramelly, but it's very liquidy. All right, so I really like that. That was great. Okay, next I'm gonna be trying the red yeast rice on Cookway. And I don't know what the filling is, but I asked and she said it was vegetarian. Right off the bat, it has a very sour smell, and I don't know if that's the red yeast rice or if maybe it's a little bit past its expiration date when I bought it. Mmm. Very interesting. Okay, it's made with some kind of bean. And it's a dessert, but it's very savory. I actually think the savory smell, it's definitely not rotten, but I think it's made with scallion oil, which can be, I've seen people on YouTube do that. So they brush the outside with scallion oil. It gives it a very savory flavor. Oh, okay. It's not sweet, actually. It's very, it could be like something you would eat for dim sum because it has such a savory flavor. That's really unexpected. These are much less sweet than the ones I made. They're also much softer than the ones I made. Mine were very hard. I do think the sourness comes from the red yeast rice. There's a little bit of that in the outside part. And I think the insides are a mung bean. Not sweet at all. I mean, it is sweet. It's like half dessert, half dim sum type, you know, something you could eat for lunch or something. Very interesting. Really unexpected and really different from the one I made. So I'm so happy I tried that. Okay, so the next one is the Quay Sarlot. Look how pretty that looks. This just looks so cute. You have the vibrant green from the pandan, and then the rice layer, which is blue from the blue pea flower blossoms. All right, so let me see if I can get both layers at the same time. That is interesting. These are all not that sweet. Like, I think they were gonna be sweet, but they're not. The Onda is pretty sweet. Okay, the top layer. Okay. As a long-term vegan, I know there are eggs in that layer, so maybe I should have checked. It's definitely a custard, and it's good. And that layer is a little bit sweet, and the bottom layer, not sweet at all. It's actually kind of salty. The bottom layer reminds me of lo mai gai, the filling, except it's blue. It's kind of salty. It doesn't have any sugar in the bottom layer. And together, it's pretty good when they're eaten together. Really good. Yeah, it's not as sweet as I thought it would be. Surprising, but highly recommend it. I like it a lot. So the Huaque came with this little orange packet, and now that I remember, I did have these before when a Singaporean friend brought them to my house, but I totally can't remember what I thought of these, and I totally forgot what this was. So I think you're supposed to sprinkle this onto the Huaque. Basically do that with my left hand while I film with my right hand. Ooh, okay, so they look like orange dyed sugar. Ooh, but that seems like that might be too much. Oops. Okay. Oops. And okay, so let's see. I think I'm gonna try the pink one to see if it has the red yeast flavor in it. So let me roll it around. I think I'm doing it right. Okay. So here's the pink Huaque with the orange sprinkles. Well, let's give it a try. This is not sweet either. It's like not sweet at all. Oh, that's so weird. I thought they were gonna be like cupcakes. Okay, let me try this again. Yeah, it has no sugar, maybe a little bit. And the orange thing, I can't discern any particular flavor except that it's sugar. So I think it's just orange dye. And I was expecting it to be a much lighter texture, but they're very dense actually. Like, they kind of have a gummy taste to it, and I can't discern that the pink has any particular flavor. I think it's just food dye. What does this remind me of? It kind of tastes like nothing, but it has a very gummy texture. Okay, let me try the brown one. This is the brown one. I'm assuming this is a brown sugar one, and it did not Huaque. It didn't have the sort of like the starburst shape. So I wonder if maybe it's supposed to be like that. This one tastes exactly the same as the pink one. And let's try this one. I thought this might be pandan because it's green. Oh, it's a little bit pandan-y. Faint pandan. So I think because this one has a discernible flavor, of the three, it's my favorite. I do like this one the most. It's very interesting. And it's very different from what I thought it would taste like. I thought it would be much sweeter. I thought it would be really light. Kind of like a cake, but this one's more like a dense, like mochi or something. And what's interesting about these, I just find them really fascinating, these Huaque, because these are really, really mini, teeny ones. But you actually see them when you walk around the HDBs and the markets here. Really big ones that are maybe like 12 inches in width. And these are bright orange. They're actually the color like this. So maybe it's traditional to dye these things orange in some way. And I actually have never seen people eat them, but people buy them and they put them on the sidewalk. Just the cake, they put it on the side. So my phone is out of storage, so I have to continue filming here. But I've been very curious about these Quay because these are the mini little ones. But they actually make them, really big too, like in the full size 12-inch cake pan size. And when I walk around the HDBs, I've never tried the big size, but they sell them all the time, and they're always this sort of bright orange color. And I've actually never seen people eat them, so I don't know if the big Huaque are meant to be eaten, but it seems like people buy them to put them out as a memorial for the dead. And so I see the big full-size orange ones on the sidewalks in front of the joss sticks, incense sticks, and the little altar in memoriam of the deceased. So it's really interesting how the little ones, I see them around, you can buy them to eat, and then the big orange one, which in my mind looks very stiff, like very hard, and it's always unwrapped and it's just kind of out there sitting stacked up, that you could buy the big orange ones to offer that to your ancestors. So all of these are new to me, and I'm really glad I got to try them. Overall, they were much less sweet than I thought that they would be. They look like they would be really sweet because they're so colorful. They look like, treats. But particularly the Cookway could actually be even like a savory snack that isn't a dessert because of the beans and the scallion oil on the outside. No, not sweet at all. Actually kind of savory, like definitely oniony. Of the four that I bought, I think that my favorite one was the Onda, and that one definitely was the sweetest one. And for somebody who has a Western palate, You expect desserts to be sweet, and I think that's why that one was my favorite. And I really like the different textural crunch flavors of the coconut and the softness of the panda and mochi and the kind of surprise gusher inside. So that one was my favorite. So I hope you enjoyed my Quay review from Bengawan Solo. And when you guys come to Singapore, I will take you to try these too. So aloha, thank you, and good Huaque.